What's up, guys? Good morning. Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's luckiest steering wheel holder. Just crawled out of bed, man. I slept so damn good. So good. We parked here in one of my favorite ways to park, which is right on the end. We got here at like 3:30 this afternoon, and I did not sleep at all yesterday. Not one bit during the day. It was just so crazy and chaotic that I just couldn't get any sleep. So we still have 24 hours to go on this load, and about 715 miles to go. For the comment yesterday, someone left me a comment yesterday and said, if you stop at the Loves in Baxter, Tennessee, wave hello. So I'm assuming you live in Baxter, Tennessee. Well, that's the Loves that I'm at. So here's a wave. Yeah, I got my toothbrush. I'm going to brush my teeth. So yeah, it's kind of ironic that I got that comment. And here we are, Baxter, Tennessee. Man, today the traffic was so bad, you guys, so bad. And we saw crashes, and it was all people going on, obviously, vacation, because they had like canoes and stuff in their trucks, you know, in the back of their pickups. But, oh, traffic was so bad. Finally, we're just like, you know what? We're shutting it down. We got so much time on this load. Not that we want to take it all, because now we're going to run the whole 700 miles straight through and get this load in. This is the load that I told you guys yesterday that we're running up to PA. So we did get that load dropped off at Walmart in Mississippi, bolted back up to Murfreesboro, and got this General Mills load, which is heavy as hell, by the way. Super heavy. And not only is it heavy, Jenna drove out of there, which if you guys have picked up at that General Mills, you know that there's nowhere to park outside the gate. So you get past the security gate, you can't really sit there. Like, you got to get moving. So she goes out the gate and then just kind of sits in the middle lane for a minute with the four-ways on to do her depart call, and immediately finds out, and this is why you do depart calls, immediately finds out that, well, as we are alerted at the time, we may have the wrong load. Now, fortunately, we were able to discover, because I would have been so pissed. It took so much work to get this load all dropped and hooked, and trailer was a big struggle, and it was all kinds of mess. Everybody's sweaty, it's humid. So I'm like, man, if we gotta go back in there and drop and hook loads again, I'm gonna be so pissed. Turns out it was just the bills. It was just they just handed us the wrong bills. So no harm, no foul. We got out of there. Anyway, I want to tell you guys about our first fleet driver. For those who don't know, our second truck, which is a Freightliner Cascadia, arrives in September. And we've had a driver lined up for this truck for probably most of this year. He's on YouTube. I want to tell you guys a little bit about him here in a minute. Let me go brush my teeth, grab some coffee, and then I want to make a little introduction for you guys and talk a little bit about that. I'll be right back. All right, got coffee. Dude, I'm addicted to the dark, bold coffee at Love's. It's the closest thing you can get to a real potent Starbucks coffee from a truck stop. Love it. Anyway, so my Jen and I's first fleet driver is on YouTube. It's got a second video up. I'm putting a link down in the description below. Please go slap him with some subscribers if you guys can. I'm thinking it's going to be interesting watching his journey, especially considering that part of his journey is going to be in one of our trucks. Now the irony, there's some irony today. His video that he put up today, he talks about not knowing someone. He's talking about his trainer and how you don't really know somebody just because you meet them. But I want you guys to know when you're watching that we actually know Brad quite well. We've met with him a few times. We've had breakfast with him. We've talked with his wife. We talk with him and his wife probably every week. And this has been for like most of this year. So it's not like I just met him a week ago. You know, there's been a lot of conversation, and he and I have done a lot of back and forth about what the goals are for our fleet and the opportunities for him. It's not just about driving a truck. There's other things at play that he could be a good fit for what we're doing. So there's a lot of value in Brad being a part of our fleet, not just as a driver, but as an individual that has very similar. There's some similarities. There's a lot of synergies between he and his wife, their background, and Jenna and I, which maybe he or I or some, we'll get into in the future. But he's a great dude, and we could not be more excited to have him as our first fleet driver. And I'm going to do everything possible to make it as lucrative as possible for him, going above and beyond even our agreements that we have. If he runs a profitable truck, it's going to be good for him. And I want it to be better for him than for me. I can only commit so much because I don't know how well it's going to go. This is new territory for me, But I want it to be more advantageous to him financially than to me. Because really for Jenna and I, it's about getting our truck paid for. We don't have any big expectation that we're going to get, super wealthy off of a truck that we're paying $5,000 a month for. We just want the truck paid for. Like that's what it all comes down to, So if there's meat on the bone, he's the one that needs to be eating it. So we're going to take really good care of him and do everything possible to take care of him because he committed to us early, and he's driving a company truck for Prime just to wait for us to get our truck. And Brad, we couldn't thank you enough for being patient through this process and being a part of what we're trying to build. So anyway, I think that's one of the most important things. I'm going to talk a lot about building a fleet throughout this process because it's new for me. We're already having conversations about ordering our third truck next year. Just want to get our beaks a little wet, with this first one, and make sure that our plan is viable. But I'm going to do a lot of videos about this because I know for a fact there are quite a few of you who are thinking along these lines. And I'll tell you that everyone that I talk to, one of the key things in making this a success is figuring out your driver situation. Now, Junior Honduras, I think he's got some good drivers. He has some drivers that do a little bit of turnover. Herb Bull's driving one of his trucks right now, which is awesome. But it's easier for him to go swap drivers out because he already owns his first truck. It's not a huge financial burden for him to have to go back to Springfield and swap out drivers. Well, I don't own my Peterbilt that I'm picking up next month, so I have that payment. I can't be constantly going back to the terminal like he can, and even then it costs him too, but it would cost me a lot more to have to constantly be down. You don't want someone who's going to abandon your truck. You don't want someone who's going to treat your truck like shit. You want someone who's going to be business minded, understanding what you're trying to accomplish. You want someone who's going to be like a partnership with you, you know? And that to me is one of the biggest, from everything I've gathered from others, from everything I've processed in my mind about how to make this work. That to me is one of the biggest make or break parts of building a fleet, is figuring out who's going to drive your trucks. So Brad being our first driver is, we think it's going to be great. I want it to be great for him. I want it to be great for us. And so we're really excited. I've mentioned it before. It's not like this is something I haven't talked about before. But now that he's got a lengthy video up on his new YouTube channel, I wanted to make sure you guys got to meet him. So give him some shit, you guys. Go in his comments and give him some shit. You guys are good at it. Go give him some shit about being our first fleet driver. I'll put the link down in the description below. I'll also pin it at the top of the comments. Go say hello to him. Tell him Driver Lineup sent you. He's a good dude. Also, if you're coming to Prime, his story, sorry guys, I'm trying to get my coffee. His story about his training experiences, you know, it's real. It's real. I've talked very little about my PSD trainer. It was a freaking nightmare, man. I can't even, it's real. Shit can go sideways and it can go bad. And this video that he did really kind of gives you from some perspective of maybe what to look for, maybe what to watch for, what to try and avoid, etc., etc. Anyways, Country Trucker Brad is his channel. Brad is his name. Good dude. Go slap him with subscribers. You'll soon be seeing my truck in his videos. Tell him I sent you. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'm going to get on the road and get this knocked out. You guys be safe, make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. I'll talk to you soon.